Hello everybody, NIO here. Today I have something that I normally don't do at all. Today is the only time so far I'm gonna make a video calling out the bottom in the share price of NIO right now. So I just need 10 minutes of your time. I will explain to everybody who is new to this channel, who has never invested in NIO before, why right now we have finally seen the bottom in share price of NIO, and why, if you have been waiting for the investment opportunity of your lifetime, this is the time to get in. And this video might take a long time. This might be a 15 minutes video or 20 minutes video. I'm not 100% sure, but I want you to get a coffee, maybe go to one of the cafe Amazons if you are in Thailand, get a beautiful coffee and sit down with me. I will explain to you every single reason why this is now the bottom for NIO share price at $3.50. And we have gone up as high as $3.69, I think. But that doesn't matter. Most important is I want you to understand why everything's aligned perfectly for the share price of NIO to explode from here, and why you should put all your money to work right now in NIO share price. And this is going to make you more money than any other investment you can find right now in any market. Okay, let's get started. First of all, some disclaimer. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor. What I'm talking to you about investment opportunity in NIO is purely from an educational perspective, and I have already myself put my spare cash into additional NIO shares. That means I have already bought, so I'm not able to buy any more shares in NIO because I'm out of cash. This is how convicted I am. I've put all my personal remaining cash into NIO shares, and I'm very, very certain this is the absolute bottom in the share price of NIO. And of course, the people who are against me will hold me against this video in the future, and the fact that I'm willing to make such a video, loudly proclaim that this is the bottom of the share price for NIO, doesn't come lightly. I've made so far more than 100 plus videos, short and long forms. In no videos I've ever called out a absolute bottom in share price of NIO so far. I normally, in all my comments, I always write that it is impossible to catch the bottom of any shares, particularly for a company like NIO. However, this is the first and the only time I'm gonna make a video telling everyone that today, as we know, the share price of NIO, the bottom of the price is in. Even NIO is gonna do equity raising, even the sales number will fluctuate, even the Chinese economy will not recover so soon, but for the share price of NIO, the bottom is in. All right, having the disclaimer out of the way, I want you to understand from a fundamental perspective how share price actually work. A lot of people think that share price only recovers when the sales number recovers, when profit number recovers, only then people start to buying shares. That is absolutely not the case at all. Share price is usually at the lowest when the hope is all lost. As soon as there is a hope coming back into the market for that particular share, the price would have started moving up long time ago. And the reason is because market is a forward-looking machine. This machine is a voting machine in the short term. Everyone vote with the cash. Either you are cashing in or cashing out at any of the moment. So right now, the market has already spoken. Based on everything I can see in the numbers, the people who are shorting shares in NIO are retreating at a record number. That means the people who have the most to lose, the people who have the most to lose are actually not the shareholders like us. At the most we can lose is 100% of our money. The people who have the most to lose in NIO is actually the people who are shorting the shares of NIO, who borrowed the shares of NIO and sold them for cash. And they have the obligation, not the option, but the obligation to buy back those shares and return the shares to the rightful shareholders to settle the debt in the share numbers. those people have the most to lose. So therefore, the people who are shorting the shares are the first one who will get out of the short position if this sense something's wrong with their investments, because the downside potential means how much money they can lose by shorting shares at $3.50 is virtually infinite. Imagine NIO has a future similar to a Tesla when the share price goes to $300, $400 per share, and you short the share at $3.50, you are going to lose 100 times or even more of your original capital. There's uncapped loss potential for you to short the shares. Therefore, observing the shares, the behavior of the people who borrow the shares is the first indication you should look out for. On that front, we are looking at very good numbers. I'm not going to go into details to bore you, but if you bother, you can look at the short volumes. It's reducing itself on a daily basis. That's the first thing. Second, fundamentally, this company is currently set up with the strongest product offering in its entire history of the last 10 years. And prime example has been the product recently launched like a few days ago. Now it's all over the internet. It's called Envo L90. That product is basically the most competitive product in the EV space anywhere in the world right now. And I really hope they're launching this product into many different markets. This is such a strong offering that I think it will even partially cannibalize the sales of other NIO share related cars. So for example, NIO branded cars, that's what I wanted to say. So the Envo L90 can potentially even take away sales for the ES8, and maybe some people who are evaluating buying the ES6. And Envo L90 is one of the strongest product offering I've ever seen by any brand, ever. If you want to know the details, watch the YouTube videos about the Envo L90. I won't go into details any further. So product offering is amazing, and the sales number for Fireflies is going through the roof. It's growing exponentially, and they haven't even started delivery in the global markets yet. And the third factor influencing the future of the share price is the change to the distribution system of this particular company. You need to understand, if you're new to NIO, you need to understand, so far NIO has been doing everything on its own. They haven't had any external partners when it comes to distribution until recently, and now they are switching over internationally to the distributor network and dealership business, similar to let's say here in Thailand 7-Eleven franchise model. So going from standalone operation to franchise business model has a huge impact on the scalability of your business. And I believe scaling wise, NIO's sales is going to scale up tremendous from here on all three different brands. Okay, those are the most important fundamental reasons why the share price has already established itself in the bottom range, and we can only see upside potential in the shares. Now let me come to the technical side. The technical side is a bit more complicated. I want to simplify it as possible for everybody to understand. It's called accumulation phase. And I believe the secret accumulation phase for NIO shares is more or less over. And the public distribution phase of the NIO shares has already finished, which means anybody who wants to sell for a loss for the share in NIO has already done so. And anybody who wants to buy secretly into shares of NIO has started the process. And this is the reason you look at the volume trading on the New York Exchange. Don't just look at the Asian markets, Singapore, Hong Kong, but most important trading market, it is still the New York Stock Exchange. Looking at the volume, looking at the minutes volume, hourly volume, daily volume, weekly volume, every single indicator shows that NIO has been bought by institutional investors slowly. I repeat, very, very slowly. And why people don't buy all the shares they want to buy at the bottom is because no institutional investor will take all the money they want to invest in one company and buy all at once. This is not how they do this. Instead, this is a gradual scaling process where you slowly establish your positions and waiting for the right signals to confirm your price entry points. And the most important entry indication is actually the $5 share price for NIO. $5 is the most important indicators. Once we clear the $5 mark, once we cross over the $5 mark, then truly the sky is the limit. Because before we can clear this $5 mark, you still have people who are looking for short-term gains, who are looking at buy at 350, sell at 360, then buy back at 355, sell at 365, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of people who are risk averse and only willing to risk, let's say, 5 cents downside for 10 cents upside. And those people will be surprised how fast the share price can move upwards. So those are in principle, the most important reasons why you should get yourself into NIO shares. However, I want to address one more issue here. One more issue here is that you can't see in the trading volume, you cannot see in the fundamentals. It is a psychological change in the market for NIO. Psychologically speaking, the wind has changed. The way how I can best explain to you the psychological change in the NIO share investment is comparing to Tesla. A few years ago, when Tesla was trading about in the range between $15 to $30 per share, pre-split, there was a very long period of time when people are still fighting over each other whether Tesla can survive or not. Is the business scalable or not? Do people actually buy electric car or not? All the usual question mark people have had for Tesla's long-term survivability, it was battled out in the range between $15 to $30 per split. But once we cleared the $35, $40 mark, suddenly there was no holding back. And Tesla just started to go up and up and up and up and up. And the reason is very simple, because anyone who was shorting Tesla shares are getting, let's just say, the backside handed to them. And this is not a small matter. The biggest money can be made in a short squeeze. And in many of my videos, I keep talking about the short squeeze potential for NIO. And I want to emphasize one more thing is people do not know the upside potential for short squeeze until it has already happened. Just like with Volkswagen, before it happened, people would have told you it is impossible for such a large, well-known company like Volkswagen to short squeeze into the most valuable company in Europe. For example, they will all tell you, now this will never happen, has never happened before, will never happen, yet it did happen. The same thing happened to Tesla. When Tesla got a short squeeze, basically everything you have seen in the last few years, the run up in the share price during COVID for short squeeze in Tesla is the result of the bear side losing its battle and keep retreating back more and more and more. And all the money people have made in Tesla was mainly due to short squeeze, not because fundamentally Tesla is such a strong company. So this is one more thing you want to understand, that the short squeeze potential in NIO is the greatest I've ever seen in any companies I have researched in the United States. This is not a small statement. And I've done a lot of research in different companies. And the one last thing I want you to consider when buying the shares in NIO is this. Everybody wants to buy low and sell high. That is normal. However, you absolutely cannot tell what is the low until the low is down. For example, you can only know that share price for NIO is now at the bottom at $369 when we cross $20, $30, When we're at $20, then you can say conclusively, yeah, 369 was the bottom, 350 was the bottom, 348 was the bottom. If you don't go to $20 mark, $30 mark, or $40 mark, then there was still a lot of people out there telling you, oh, anytime we can collapse down back to $5 mark, then everything gets sold off again. This is entirely possible, but you will not be able to call the bottom, truly calling the bottom, until we well have left the bottom behind. So you can either wait, like most people conservatively investing in shares like NIO, wait for $10 per share. You can wait. You can wait for $10 per share. You can wait for $20 per share. In fact, I can tell you from my perspective, it is far safer to invest in NIO at $50 mark instead of the $5 mark, because for $50 share in NIO to go to $100, it is far easier and more likely than for $5 to go to $50. So you have your own risk profile. If you don't believe my video, you think I'm telling you bullshit and I'm talking my own book, it's entirely possible. I'm not denying that. Logically speaking, you have no reason to trust some random guy on the internet. Doesn't matter how much credential I bring, you still don't need to trust anybody. Instead, here's the easiest way to trust yourself. Do what institutionals do. Buy certain percentage of the shares you want to buy below $5. Below $5 is a no-brainer buy from my perspective, but you don't have to do it. Instead, let's say, imagine you have $1,000 you want to invest in NIO. Take $100, invest $100 into NIO today. Then wait until NIO cross $5. Then invest another $100 into NIO between $5 to $7. Then wait until we cross $7, then invest another $100 into NIO at $7 to $10 mark. Now you get the idea. And then you wait until NIO cross $10, then you buy another $100 worth of NIO shares. Then wait until 15, then buy another $100. This way you are always on the way up, buying on the way up. Because psychologically, for some reason, still don't quite get it, but as a human species, psychologically, we like to see the investment we buy immediately go up after we buy. This is something, it's still a mystery to me why the immediate gratification is such a strong decision element when it comes to decision making for a human species. But it is well understood that we only like to buy into something when the price keeps going up. I don't know why when it comes to investment, people don't like to buy when the price is low. People don't like it. Yeah. So you don't have to fight against your human nature. If you buy your shares in NIO in stages, instead of buy everything below $5, you wait until it goes to $10, buy another bunch, go to 15, then buy more, then 20, buy more, then 50, buy more. Even at $100 per share, you can still buy more. If it from $100 goes to $200, you feel like a champ, right? I think most people invest based on feelings and emotions, but if you make logical decisions, average your way up into the NIO shares, that is a winning strategy. And then last part of this video, I want to address all the people who have been in NIO for years and waiting for this moment, the downtrend to break. We have been in the downtrend forever, literally forever. And from your perspective, this has been dead money. I want to remind anybody who has been in NIO shares for years is that your personal experience in NIO does not determine the future of NIO share movement. It means simply that it doesn't matter how much you suffered emotionally speaking from the downward trend of NIO. The market doesn't care about that. It has no impact on the future market price of NIO. Instead, you have to look at the NIO shares today like you have never owned the company ever in your life. That's the only correct way to evaluate a company. You only evaluate based on the future outcome, not based on the past outcome. The past is irrelevant. Even though everyone look at the past is completely irrelevant. Okay? It literally does not matter to the future of share price in NIO how high we have been before. The 60 something dollar per share is completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. I want to repeat this statement. Do not let the past performance of NIO share price influence your decision-making process for the future of NIO shares. You have to look at the NIO every day like a company you have never invested in, and deciding every morning when you wake up, this is a company. Do I still trust the company? Do I still trust the employee? Do I still trust the system? Last but not least, do I still trust the management? As long as you can answer to all these questions with the resounding yes, then you should hold on to your investment regardless how the market is voting in your favor or against you. This is incredibly important. I want you to remember this, that the market does not care what is your entry price. Even though, for example, in my bio, I have written clearly what's my entry price and what is my average price, and when is my average price gotten recorded. It's all in my bio. But in reality, the market doesn't care about that. The market will still go to $100 per share regardless I bought for 50, 30, 25, or I receive shares for free because I work for NIO. If I work for NIO, for example, some NIO shareholders are not just people who buy into the company. Every NIO employee in the world also receives share compensation, in case you don't know. That means essentially you receive shares for free. So, to conclude the video, I want you to make sure that you evaluate the share price of NIO based on fundamental reasons and on the technical reasons, not based on, oh gosh, I'm getting distracted because there's a monkey running on the cable, electrical cable in front of me. Okay, I'm gonna conclude this video now because I want to showcase to you guys the monkey running on the electric cable. I can't believe that is happening. There's a monkey. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in now. There's a monkey running on an electrical cable. Amazing. Wait, where is it? There. There's a monkey running on the electrical cable. That's the perfect conclusion for this video. Unbelievable. I've never seen this before. Amazing. It's climbing the electrical cable that like is a rope, like some kind of zoo rope. Unbelievable. This is Thailand for you guys. Welcome to Thailand. Amazing Thailand. This is the best possible conclusion I can have for the video. The monkey is running along. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much for watching. And see you in the next one. I don't know when I will make the next video. It might take a while. But all I can say is I will not stop making video until we get to $100 per share. That is a promise I made from day one. That is a promise I plan to keep. All right. See you next time. Like and subscribe. Bye.